Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something that's, well, kind of the secret engine of our entire justice system. It's not just about lawyers and judges, it's about the incredible power packed into official pieces of paper.
I mean, just think about that for a second. How does a piece of paper, just ink and paper, with the right stamps on it, get the power to totally upend someone's life? Well, today we're going to find out exactly how that works.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by learning the court's unique lingo. Then, we'll see how a case actually gets off the ground, what keeps it from getting stuck, and, this is the big one, how a judge's final word gets enforced. It's a deep dive into how the system really functions.
Okay, so first things first. To really get how courts work, you've got to speak their language. And the most powerful words in the justice system aren't actually spoken. They're written down on these special official documents known as processes.
And it's actually pretty straightforward. Pretty much every single document that comes out of a court fits into one of these three buckets. They either kick things off, keep the process chugging along, or they bring the hammer down at the very end.
Okay, let's dive into that first category. So how does a legal case even get started? I mean, you can't just walk into a courtroom and start arguing. You need the right key to unlock the door. And that key, you guessed it, is a very specific piece of paper.
So let's look at the local level, in what's known as a magistrate's court. Right away, you can see things are different depending on whether we're talking about a criminal case or a civil one. On the criminal side, you've got a criminal summons, and the person bringing the case is the complainant. But hop over to the civil side, and it's a civil summons, and the person suing is called the plaintiff. See? In the world of law, the specific words you use matter a whole lot.
But what happens when things get more serious? Well, the case moves up to the high court, and the paperwork gets an upgrade too. We're not talking about a simple summons anymore, we're talking about an indictment. That word alone tells you it's a big deal. And look at who's running the show. In the lower court, a police officer might prosecute, but up in the high court, nope. Only specialized government lawyers called state counsel can do that job.
Now, for civil cases in the high court, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. It's more like having a legal toolkit. Each of these documents is a specific tool for a specific job. Are you suing someone for damages from an accident? You'll probably need a writ of summons. Just need a judge to clarify what a will means? That's likely an originating summons. It's all about picking the right tool for the job.
So with all these different options, you're probably wondering, what happens if I mess up and file the wrong one? Well, this is actually pretty cool. The system has this built-in safety net. The rules basically say, hey, mistakes happen, so a simple procedural mix-up isn't going to get your entire case thrown out the window, which is a huge protection.
All right, so you've used the right key. The case is officially on. But we all know legal battles can drag on forever. So how do you stop them from getting stuck in the mud? That's where a second category of documents comes in, the ones that exist to keep the wheels of justice actually turning.
And the simplest tool in this bunch is the notice. You can think of it like an official FYI from the court. It's a heads up, right? It tells you, hey, your next court date is scheduled. But here's the key thing. It lets you know, but it doesn't force you to do anything. The ball is in your court, at least for now.
So what happens if you just blow it off? Well, as you can see here, things escalate pretty fast. Ignore it once and you'll probably just get another notice. But ignore it a second time, now the court can hit you with costs, basically as a warning shot. And if you still don't show up, the judge might just throw your case out completely, or just make a decision without you even being there. The lesson is clear. You have a right to be heard, but you don't have a right to hold up the entire system.
Okay, now we're moving from a gentle nudge to a firm push. A subpoena is like a formal invitation that you absolutely cannot decline. It's the court saying, we need you here as a witness. But if someone ignores that, that's when the court brings out the big guns, a warrant. And let's be crystal clear, a warrant is not an invitation. It is a direct command backed by the full power of law enforcement.
So the case has been heard, all the arguments are in, and the judge finally makes a decision. But what good are a judge's words if nothing actually happens? This next part, this is where we see the court's real muscle. This is how a ruling becomes reality.
And this right here is a perfect example, the writ of fieri facias. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so most people just call it FIFA. The name might sound ancient, but its purpose is brutally simple. If the court orders you to pay a debt and you refuse, this piece of paper gives bailiffs the legal authority to seize your property, sell it, and use the money to pay what you owe. It's that serious.
The court also has specialized tools for getting physical property back. A writ of possession is for real estate. It's the legal document that authorizes an eviction and gives the land back to its rightful owner.
A writ of delivery, on the other hand, is for specific movable items. If a court rules that classic car in your neighbor's garage is actually yours, this is the writ that sends the bailiffs to go get it for you.
And the enforcement toolkit has even more heavy hitters. A committal order is used to punish someone for directly disobeying the court. It's the process that can actually send a person to prison for contempt. And a garnishee order is incredibly powerful. It allows the court to go directly to a debtor's bank account or their employer and take the money owed right from the source.
Okay, let's take a step back and tie all this together. When you look at the whole journey, what you really see is this brilliantly structured system of power, all of it orchestrated through the flow of these critical documents. And really, it all boils down to these three core functions. You have documents to start the legal fight. You have documents to manage the fight and keep it fair. And finally, you have documents to end the fight with a decisive, enforceable outcome. The entire system is built on the legal authority of the written word.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. We live in a world that's all digital, right? Instant messages, emails, everything's online. So what does it mean that our formal system of justice still runs on the profound physical power of these pieces of paper? What does that tell us about authority, tradition, and where power really comes from? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.